Let's go. Let's do it. First Saturday,
Hey.
Road to the Derby live. Not one, but two Kentucky Derby points races. One of them live right here, Gulfstream Park, Fountain of Youth. That's coming up. But first, we've got the San Felipe Stakes at Santa Anita. I'm Dan Tordjman with America's Best Racing. As you can see, we've got a loaded panel of skilled handicappers and analysts with us here. Jessica Paquette, Samantha Perry, Ren Carothers, Chase Sessoms. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. This has been an insane day. They introduced two new pick five wagers, 12% takeout, dollar minimum. There are so many different bets you could get into today. Jessica, I'll start with you. Hopefully, your best bet of the day is still to come. How is the wagering going? How did you plot out your day in terms of wagers? It's just been insane.
I've been trying to save my bankroll for these races. I'll put my money where my mouth is with some of these opinions. And I think the best is still to come. This is a loaded day, but this is a marathon, not a sprint, everybody. We're like, it's easy to come out of the gate a little hot here, but pace yourself. There's a lot more to come.
A lot more to come. Samantha Perry, we've seen you on a couple of shows. Your first time hosting with us. For those who don't know, Sam is the paddock racing analyst at Monmouth Park. Sam, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. How did you attack these next few races, really the whole day? And do you have something you could tease us? Do you have something you like here in the next couple of races that we're going to dive into?
Ooh, so I have got currently, I did the dirt pick five, not the turf one, because I'll admit I was taking a nap earlier. I needed to rest before we got going today. So I've got that. There's some great races, some great talent coming up. I'm excited to see. We'll probably see a horse in the Kentucky Derby starting gate, whoever wins today at San Felipe and at the Fountain of Youth. So it's exciting.
Big day, big races. Ren is here, as always, our pedigree analyst. And on days like today, it's extra important because you're going to have a lot of horses who are going to be going long for the first time. They're going to get an acid test stepping up in class. Ren, these days, I'm sure you're licking your lips.
Oh gosh, well, no, it's a lot of fun, but I the thing that's really interesting is especially when you see horses from barns that usually aren't high profile, and they're the ones that are actually putting those horses in the gate that have the illustrious pedigree. So, for example, Sano, he's got a horse in there that has a real live shot in the Fountain of Youth, talking about simplification, and that horse actually is from the direct family of Ashado. So that's pretty fun right there from that perspective. So yeah, I love looking at the pedigrees. I love all that. I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted. I'm just smarting right now because as we horse players all know, it's the wagers in which we don't bet. I was getting my derriere handed to me the past week and how I was structuring my tickets. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take today off in terms of wagering. And at Tampa, it just goes to show you, even when you have two logical horses win within a sequence, it can still pay pretty nicely. And the pick five paid just shy of $1,600, and I would have hit it if I played mine. But hopefully we can turn it around here.
Come on. I tell you what, I know that Chase takes no days off of wagering.
I know, right? Every day is a play day.
That's right.
How you doing so far today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be on this stream where we're covering more races than the Rebel winner had combined eyeballs. Like, that's a pretty cool thing that we're doing. I'm an Oaklawn guy. I spend a lot of time focusing on Oaklawn, so I had to pull myself away from just the spectacular Archie bred stakes races going on today to check out what was going on with these races. And I really love the Fountain of Youth lineup. I think that's going to be just a vertical bettor's dream come true. And I'm a Papa Mandela fanboy, so I'm pretty excited to see one specific horse run in the San Felipe.
You and me both. I mean, everyone is a Papa Mandela fangirl or fanboy, though, really.
What's not to love? So
right.
We're going to show you the San Felipe.
My refrain is, Omaha Beach, it should have been you.
Yeah. We're going to show you the San Felipe. We're going to show you the Fountain of Youth. for the moment, what we'll do is we'll pop up this screen. This is the feed here where they're showing all the stakes races on first racing Saturday. And so lots of action here coming up. Of course, our emphasis is on the two big Derby prep races today. And I just want to really jump into those. Hopefully it's not overly distracting for those watching here and who still have action in this pick 5. Jessica, let me start with you on the San Felipe. You've got a horse in Forbidden Kingdom who right now is opened up. You can see it on the far left of your screen. Those are the odds for the San Felipe at 3 to 5. And look, I get it. Horse comes off. Obviously, a significant win coming into this race. To me, though, seems a touch short. I mean, there's still 20 minutes to post. How did you look at this race, Forbidden Kingdom, yay or nay for you?
I mean, he's a yay for me, but you really have to consider what kind of value you're getting on him, right? Like, I think there are some horses on the board that may be offering some real value. It's hard to take 1 to 2 on a horse when you have 2 Bob Baffert runners that both look pretty live here, especially with Johnny V on the 3. Coming in off of that really good maiden win, he was green, but these are mostly green horses. Doppelganger again. I think we'll see a better showing of him today. I think he's one that probably does want a little bit longer distance. Forbidden Kingdom, definitely who I'm rooting for. I liked the last effort. The idea of Papa Mandela having a horse in the Derby starting gate really appeals to me. So I'm rooting for him to get there however he gets there.
I like how you opted not to say the name of the 3
I have no
horse.
idea. I'm just deferring to someone else. I have no idea. I'm not going to butcher it. So I was just going to casually hope you didn't call me out on that. But thank you.
Let's go with Armagnac.
I thought it was I over Frenched it. I went Armagnac.
But you're correct because it's a French brandy.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
I would like Armagnac, or never mind, Armagnac. Yeah, I went Armagnac instead of Almanac.
And I should have deferred to Sam and to Chase initially because I mean Chase is was a French lit minor. I was right, minor or major.
Yes, minor. I got my BA in hustling from the School of Hard Knocks and minored in French lit.
Ooh,
That's a combination.
great.
All right. Well, speaking of Armagnac, let's take a look back at what the hype is around this horse. On debut, he loses by 7 lengths, finishes 3rd in the sprint. Then they stretch him out, and here's what he did.
They've left the others well behind. South Street, Kerouac turning for home, and it's Armagnac a length and a half. Paroli not giving up, trying hard in 2nd. 6 back to South Street in 3rd. 16th pole, and it's Armagnac still by 2. Paroli very game in 2nd. The others well behind, headed by South Street. Armagnac takes care of business in front-running fashion by 2.
I love when horses look like they should. No, definitely green. But just the appearance. I love when you look at paper and you see a pedigree and then you see the horse in the flesh and they look like, oh, that's what the paper told me it should look like.
Well, I mean, Quality Road's going to stamp them forever.
Yeah,
but just watching how goofy this horse is in the stretch, as he's cocking his head to the left, trying to look at, I assume he was looking at the infield board. But he's one that just looks like he needs more miles.
Yeah.
Sam, you nailed the pronunciation. What do you think of the horse?
I like him a lot. I like him better than Doppelganger, and I completely toss Forbidden Kingdom. I'm not a fan of this horse, especially his work. Or I wouldn't even say it was really a work leading up to the race. They just kind of did an easy 3/8 with him, 4 or 5 off the rail. I don't like the way he travels too much. Armagnac worked with Doppelganger last work and on 225, and it was just a beautiful work. They had him on the inside, which you understand why Bob did that, trying to get his focus on what's happening on the inside to him. And I think that he's just going to mature, step up a lot more from this race. But also the thing about Doppelganger is he galloped out fantastic, way better than Armagnac. So I think Doppelganger in the long run is going to be better with more distance, but Armagnac today, I'm a big fan of.
All right. I'm gonna counter that argument in a little bit, but first, the race they're heading to the gate for here is the Mac Darmada, which is actually surprisingly a name that I find easier than Armagnac. It's much harder to pronounce. Chase, I know you've got action on this race as they load into the gate. Even though this was not originally scheduled, let us know how you're betting this one.
I actually had not taken a look at this race yet, but I'm a huge fan of Shan Rocket. I feel like you've just oversold me as a complete degenerate. And
I mean, I have thoughts on this race, Chase. If you're
Jessica,
not,
jump in.
Please.
In a big price, I'll take Fantasioso all day. I loved his win in person at Sam Houston. What a game horse.
Shamrocket is the third choice.
Okay, Fantasioso. Any other opinions in this race?
I went with Temple, but I couldn't tell you why right now.
All right. Hey, Temple, Fantasioso, very good. They're going into the gate. For those who were playing, trying to get in last-second bets, let's see. What numbers are they? Temple was the 8, and then Fantasioso. Okay. All right. Let's just watch this race. It's going to be going off. I don't want to confuse people. Let's put up the sound and watch this one.
Because I feel pressured to be a degenerate, I'm now going to drop a win bet on Shamrocket.
They're in the gate. Racing and the McDermott. At the rail, a Bond comes out firing, but he's going to have some pace challengers today. They include Tide of the Sea in Glenn County. Safe Conduct is on their outside. So Jockey Luis Saez backs off on this big favorite of Bond. He's sitting back in 5th. Up and by him went Temple. From between horses, Fantasioso wide on the course and Media Blitz. Then it's at the rail to Kygo, a length and a half in front of Lure Him In. Out the back early, Shamrocket, while 3 wide. The early trailer is Gloucestershire. So Laban really got shuffled back now. He's toward the back of the group here as Safe Conduct wheels in front of us for the first time with a length advantage. Tide of the Sea second, Temple. He's well positioned today by jockey Jose Ortiz. Third, only 2.5 lengths off the pace setter. Saving ground is Glenn County, working between horses, Fantasioso, 3 wide and Media Blitz. Then Shamrocket, Aban is down toward the rail, not an optimum setup for
Shamrocket
him.
running just as my analysis said he would.
Better than Kygo. And Gloucestershire content to be at the back of the field for now, with still over 7 furlongs to race. Around the clubhouse turn they go. It's Safe Conduct and Julian Leparoux with the advantage of a length and a quarter. Tide of the Sea is second. Glenn County at the rail third. Temple is there fourth. Fantasioso races from 5th with Media Blitz on his outside. Then back to the team of Shamrocket and Aban. Another 2 back to Lure Him In. 3 clear of Kygo, and still no hurry from the back of the field is Gloucestershire. They have 5 furlongs remaining. 3 wide and angled toward the back of the field is Aban. He has had the benefit of nothing going his way today. Meanwhile, Tide of the Sea is up to take the lead from Safe Conduct. The one who's got the trip he wants is Temple, and here he is. He's up into second now. On his back went Glenn County. 4 wide Shamrocket. He's going to have to give up ground on the far turn run. Then Fantasioso and Media Blitz, and they start to sprint now. Around the far turn they race, and Temple on the attack for Jose Ortiz to take a clear lead. Aban is right with him second. From the outside, that's Shamrocket now third, and they're at the top of the stretch. Temple now has clearly he's 2.5 in front, and he's getting away a bit. Shamrocket on the outside has rallied into second. Back to third, it's Aban. Final 1/8 of a mile. Temple with a dream trip, and he's not squandering it. He's 2 on top. Shamrocket is up into second. That's as far as he gets. Temple wins the McDermott. Shamrocket was.
She's 1 for 1, yo. She's 1 for 1. All right.
Well, I did tell you I played Legs Galore in the Buena Vista, but she was a favorite, so who cares?
There you go. All right. This is the day. This is the day. And Ren, the races that are especially in your wheelhouse are coming up.
I know. I'm just kicking myself, though. I really am. I'm still thinking about my late pick 5 at Tampa. You know how it goes. But
no.
Onward.
We're going to ride this. You're going to add leg and go forward. Like, that's the only way.
Let's go. Onward and upward.
That's right. You're right.
Onward and upward.
Yeah.
There's always another race.
That is so true.
I'll say this. I threw you under the bus a little bit there. And so now I'm going to give you the opportunity. You get first take out of this race. We still got about 15 minutes left to the San Felipe. Break it down for us. How do you see this race unfolding? That's what I'm interested in. What's the pace like? Who's on the lead? Who's pressing? Who's closing? Tell me how it goes.
It's always kind of hard to suss out the pace in some of these races because they're so lightly raced that you don't know if they're just going to try different tactics. I have to think that they're going to be sending Forbidden Kingdom and Armagnac out for the lead. I think those are going to be your two, most likely, with Armagnac kind of tucked into the rail, with Forbidden Kingdom sitting right off of Armagnac's hip. I think they're going to go pretty quick, pretty early, and it's something that I always say with these Kentucky Derby qualifying races and the Derby itself is there's a very specific run style that wins it, and it's horses that can get out to the front and have a high cruising speed. I think that Forbidden Kingdom is the more likely of the two. I spoke with actually some folks who are connected with Forbidden Kingdom. They said had a great blowout workout. Like, he's put on a little bit of weight and just looks really sharp right now. And he looks like he's really ready for this. With that happening, though, you have to toss one of them because one of them is not going to hold. And I think it's going to be Armagnac. So even though Forbidden Kingdom is 3 to 5, I'm going to opt to find my value by the underneath horses. And I'm going to use horses that could close into the pace, like Beautiful Art. And then I also might use Cabo Spirit underneath in an exact or very skinny trifecta. Did I just get laughed at? Oh,
no.
man.
I just like the way you said a skinny trifecta. I thought it was cute.
Thin as in, Ren.
So Chase, let me get this straight. You started off by saying the type of horse that wins this race is a horse with high cruising speed, who's near the front of the lead, and then you just completely said, you know what, I'm going to throw all of that knowledge that I have out the window, and I'm going to go with maybe a horse who comes from off the pace.
No. I'm saying I'm using those underneath. I'm keying Forbidden Kingdom over those.
So you are Forbidden Kingdom through and through. What's going on?
Yes.
So you are Forbidden Kingdom through and through. Okay. Look, and I think Sam had the same concerns. So you guys probably all hate my horse, which is Doppelganger. I'm going to make a quick case. I'm going to show a replay, and then Ren, I want to kick it to you because I'm going to give you the I'm going to let you be the judge and jury here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the San Vicente, we all know, right? Forbidden Kingdom ran them off their feet. Great, but he had things his own way, to my viewing, right? We know Armagnac's in there to put pressure on him to potentially set up for Doppelganger. For me, when I go back to Doppelganger's debut, you watch that race, he was absolutely geared down late, and he was jostled around at the start. He had a rough trip there and was just so professional, especially for a first start. The adversity did not matter at all. What I really want to look at is the San Vicente. I want to go back to the race. As we know, Forbidden Kingdom won the race, but just take a look at how Doppelganger finished up, and I want Ren's thoughts on how he finished up and whether this portends potential improvement going longer.
Forbidden Kingdom in command, 3 furlongs from the money. He's in front 2.5 lengths. Pinehurst asks for a bit more. McLaren Vale, and they're joined by Doppelganger, Pink Cap, widest of all, as the field turns for home. Forbidden Kingdom still in control with a 2-length lead. McLaren Vale on the outside. Pinehurst is now cutting into the margin of Forbidden Kingdom, and Doppelganger is well behind. Coming to the 16th, Forbidden Kingdom still strong. Pinehurst 2.5 behind. 16th pole, and it's Forbidden Kingdom all the way. A powerful effort. Dominant in the San Vicente under Juan Hernandez.
It's so hard once a horse gets sent wide around a turn like that, especially when they're so underexperienced. And then on top of it, because they're floated wide, not only did they lose ground that way, but then from the angle of the other horses to their inside, they can't change their leads effectively right as soon as they hit the top of the stretch going for home. So the fact that he was able to still persevere and go through that, I think part of it, obviously, the other 2 horses behind Forbidden Kingdom were starting to tire, so he was able to target off and get re-engaged because of that. Obviously, we know that the misgivings that anybody had regarding Into Mischief siring a horse to get, a Derby distance are gone at this point, right? He's got 2 Derby winners. I know one via DQ, but still. So you have that, and obviously Authentic, not only did he win the Derby, but he won the Breeders' Cup Classic. Also with, the fact that you've got Quiet American there in the bottom, he's just a source of quality, Quiet American. He for a while was just one of these broodmare sires that you always look for. So yes, I think this horse has much more that he can do going forward. And also, I think Santa Anita, it always looks like it's so tiring, that stretch to me. But that all being said, I don't think anybody beats Forbidden Kingdom today. I think this horse, the fact that he was able to do what he did off the bench, the fact that he's overcome adversity. Yes, he ended up getting beat, but to overcome what he did to still shoot out and get the lead there in the Bob Hope, and then get caught late by Messier, and we then saw what Messier did. I just think this horse is so classy, and the part of the thing that's so dynamic about him is his pedigree. It's the fact that you're by American Pharaoh. So I think you have this great cardiovascular system. You've got this great, just all the physicality. But then on the bottom side, you have so much speed influence too, because your mom's by 5-Star Day. Your second dam is by Mount Livermore. So you have this great combination of speed that can be carried. And that's what makes this horse exciting.
All right. Any other opinions on Doppelganger? Or we could move over to Cabo Spirit. I think, Chase, you mentioned Cabo Spirit a little bit.
Yeah, well, the only thing I'm going to say about Doppelganger that kind of takes away from me actually using him is how hot the fractions were in that last race, and the fact that I know there was he had to take a little bit of a side step in the stretch there, but he really never made up ground on anybody through that entire race. That concerns me quite a bit. Cabo Spirit, it just feels like a bona fide board hitter. Like he's just going to sit close enough to the pace. He's not going to drastically fall off. It's just kind of a smooth energy distribution through the entire thing.
Yeah.
So that I think that's just a great sneaky play. Well, maybe not so sneaky at 12-1 when you consider it's 4-5 for the favorite, but a good play to just kind of round out your exactas or trifectas.
And to add on to just real quick what Chase was talking about regarding the running style there, from the pedigree perspective, also with that horse, I mean, you're by Pioneer of the Nile, you're out of a Chamardel mare, and then your grandmother is a full sister to Tiz Now. So it's just class.
And stamina more than anything.
Do we want to at least take a brief look? Well, sure we do. At some of the longer prices in here, Happy Jack down on the rail, 18-1. Anyone interested?
So I was really interested in Happy Jack last time in the Robert B. Lewis. I thought he was going to show a little bit more than he did, and I'm willing to give him one more chance at a big price. Maybe that race was too bad to be true, because he showed, pretty much nothing. It was only his first try around 2 turns. Maybe he just needed the race. He improves a little bit second time going long. I like his pedigree for distance. His half sibling actually runs at Sam Houston. Isn't much racehorse. So again, this isn't really a ringing endorsement for this horse being a graded stakes Kentucky Derby type contender. But Happy Jack, I'll use him in my exotics.
All right, the two horse Worst Reed Sanchez right now, the longest shot on the board, 30-1. Honestly, of all the long shots, I actually didn't mind Worst Reed Sanchez. I realize this is like a huge step up in class, but at least visually there were some things there. I thought he took a noticeable step forward a couple of races back. They added the blinkers and stretched out. Now, granted, again, that's a state-bred maiden special on turf. Came back, again, ran well in a state-bred optional going 1 1/8. But again, I don't have any questions about distance with that one necessarily. I think it's just a question of class. Samantha, any interest in that horse or any one of these long shots?
I like a Happy Jack better between the Doug O'Neill horses, Jessica. I agree with you on that. But I wonder, taking the blinkers off, are they just throwing darts at a dartboard trying to see what sticks here for him? But Doug O'Neill is sneaky in races like this.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, there's, occasionally they will, they'll just be in there and they'll throw in a clunker, but it is Redham Racing. And as we know, Doug and Redham always make some noise at some point on the Derby trail. And so, and then again, I mean, you have Calumet with Happy Jack. Look, any one of these horses, we've said it so many times, if you follow the Kentucky Derby trail over the years, you know that from race to race, from month to month, many horses will make just sort of dramatic improvement. And it's stuff that you would never know, you'd never see, even if you're, unless you're sitting very closely and you're watching all the workouts every day and you're at the track every day, and they just show up on race day and they'll surprise you. And I think there's the possibility for that. Maybe it's not the winner. Maybe Forbidden Kingdom does indeed go off and wire this field, but maybe we see another horse step up in a significant way to where we see them come back for the Santa Anita Derby on April 9th. And, maybe that's the race that they peak in. So, we'll see. Beautiful Art is one we haven't spoken much about. The 4-horse Mike Smith rides for Simon Callahan. Won by 4+ lengths last out. Again, maiden 20. Huge step up in class while stretching out. Anyone?
I think if you're going to get a big surprise in this race, I actually think it might be this horse. Okay. I understand that it's coming out of a 20K maiden claimer, but I also kind of, if the trainer feels this confident, I feel this confident. You know, that's kind of my take on it. And it showed the ability to sit off of a pretty hot pace last time. I mean, Ren's probably going to inform us that it doesn't really look like it has very much, you know, distance pedigree. Like
remember, Jumpstart is by AP Indy.
Sure, true. I like this one to, if it goes just nuclear on the front end, I like this one to maybe actually sneak up and get a piece, you know. This is one that I'm definitely going to be using underneath, but might even just take a flyer at a win bet.
Oh, look, I mean, you got to get creative here somehow if you're going to make some. I mean, like, unless you've got just a whole lot of money to throw on one of these favorites. Doppelganger, by the way, now taking money, drifting down a little bit, and Forbidden Kingdom drifting up to even money, a fat even money price right there. By the way, Ren, I know you wanted to get a word in there. I will throw it back to you in a second. I just wanted to encourage everyone watching, drop your picks in the comments. We have some people here giving us trifecta picks here. Tom likes Cabo Spirit. He has a shot. Obviously, the horse finished second to Messier, so wants some improvement there. Jay Finesse is feeling he just wants to go live with us. He's like, get me on this show. Jay Finesse, let us know who you like. Let's start there, and then maybe we'll get you on the show. Bernardo, 5-6 with 5-6-7. So going with the logicals on top with a little Cabo Spirit behind. Again, if you've got picks, you want to share them, you have questions, let us know. We'll answer them. Ren, back to you.
Oh, no. I was just, I mean, yeah, obviously talking about beautiful art, a little bit curious when you see a horse take a step up from winning a main 200,000. Actually, that's what that is, a main 200,000. So, which is, wow, right, pretty impressive. The horse cost
I omitted a 0. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No one's used to seeing those.
Right, because,
at a certain point, who was anyone claimed out of that race? I didn't check, but or is anyone really claiming a horse out of those spots?
Probably not, no.
I do have a birthday coming up, if anyone's wondering.
But it is interesting because we don't know enough about Klimt yet, okay? I mean, this is a first crop representative. I think, if I remember correctly, that this would be, 3-year-olds, I believe, are first crop. But being the son of Quality Road, and we know the type of quality runners we're getting from him. So you have to have that hope. And then going back to what we were talking about, Jumpstart, son of AP Indy. So I think the distance is there. And if he does indeed like 2 turns, I mean, we could see him significantly improve, but that's going to be the question. I mean, you're taking up, stepping up from winning your main here to now going in a grade 2 race that has Derby points on the line. So I don't think anybody's going to beat Forbidden Kingdom, and the way to play this is the underneath. And however you want to roll that is up to you. I mean, Chase gave you one option.
Speaking of Derby points, I'm sure, Chase, you had some action in the Gotham as well. Morello wins the Gotham. Looks like he pulled off by about 10 lengths as the even money favorite, trained by Steve Asmussen with Jose Lascano up. Ownership team with Blue Lion Thoroughbreds and a few others that are cut off on my program here, so I can't tell you who else owns them. But Morello, that's a name you will now see in conversation surrounding the Kentucky Derby.
A name for Tom Morello?
That's what I'm hoping. Showing our age, showing our collective age here.
Yeah.
Well, how many links did you say he won by?
It looked to me like he was a gear down 5 or 6 lanes. I'm looking through the glare at a TV monitor here.
So he raged against the field.
Oh, here you go. You set me up. You set me up. All right. And significantly, Dean's List finished second in that race. I'll circle back to Dean's List because he beat a horse that I really like, who I think has a serious shot at a big price in the Fountain of Youth. But for now, they're loading into the gate for the San Felipe. It is Road to the Derby live from Santa Anita. We'll watch this one live. We'll come back on the other side with reaction and then show you the Fountain of Youth Stakes from Gulfstream Park.
They're in the gate. Armagnac restless. And now that has moved over to beautiful art. Mike Smith jumps off. Armagnac's been a little bit keen since he got to the gate. And they're off in the San Felipe. Beautiful Art hopped in the air. Happy Jack is sent out of there. Forbidden Kingdom sprints quickly, and Armagnac, the pace hot and heavy early on. Doppelganger is fourth on the inside of Cabo Spirit. Worst Reed Sanchez, and Beautiful Art is at the back of the field. Forbidden Kingdom will set the pace, and he has it by 2 lengths. Armagnac clearly into second, and then Happy Jack back to third, about 4.5 off the leader. It's another 3 back to Cabo Spirit, racing on the outside of Doppelganger. Worst Reed Sanchez second to last, and Beautiful Art at the back of the field. Forbidden Kingdom really rolling on the front end. Has it by 3 lengths. Armagnac second. Now a gap of 7 or 8. Back to Happy Jack. There's room at the rail for Doppelganger, who starts to advance, and Cabo Spirit outside of that pair. Another 4 lengths to Worst Reed Sanchez, and Beautiful Art has trailed throughout. 3/8 of a mile to go in the San Felipe. And it's Forbidden Kingdom, who has opened up a 9-length lead.
Oh.
Doppelganger now comes after him in second. Armagnac, a softened up third as they round the turn. And it's Forbidden Kingdom still with a commanding lead. Doppelganger will try to catch him in the final quarter of a mile. Cabo Spirit racing on the outside of Happy Jack. They turn for home. And Forbidden Kingdom still strong on the front end. A 7-length advantage. Doppelganger is clearly second, but it is Forbidden Kingdom. A stellar display. 6-length lead past the 16th pole. And what a performance from Forbidden Kingdom under Juan Hernandez in the San Felipe.
Wow.
Won by more than 5. Doppelganger
Love
second.
to see it.
That
Happy
was,
Jack-
you've seen me after some of these races we've done. Y'all see me. I've been like, oh, that was nice, or that was good. I
Love
have
to see
chills
it.
right now. I have chills
Yeah.
right now. That horse could not have done that more easily.
Oh, he took no pressure. He took no pressure. He walked. He did blah,
He's-
blah, blah, blah.
He
blah.
still
No.
went 22.6.
No, he went fast.
He went sub 46 for the half with no urging, no nothing, just gone out
And
there.
was not
happy.
shortening his strides at the
Not
end.
at all.
No, can we
That
talk
was
about
exciting.
Doppelganger for a second?
Yeah.
It wasn't the trip last time out. He just doesn't take the turn well. He bears out on the turn. I think that's a him thing.
And he's just slow out of the gate. I mean, again, just
He's
so
kind of clunky.
yeah. I mean, unlike any good Baffert horse, he has no high cruising speed.
So I gotta
slow.
Look at this horse right now. Look at this horse right now. I'm sorry, Chase. I didn't
Look at his
interrupt,
little
but
ears. He's so happy. He did such a good job.
I'm in
I'm
love.
obsessed.
I'm in love right now, I think.
Obsessed.
I am going to say I have just one knock, and that is that my Twitter feed is going to have just a flight line level blow up after that performance. Like
Coupled with the obsession we all have for Mandela, like it just makes this like exponentially worse. Really, like we were all heralding Omaha Beach as the second coming of anything because of Mandela.
That was super impressive. Look, we got to get to the Fountain of Youth, but super impressive. Forbidden Kingdom, earning all the points he'll really need to get to the Kentucky Derby. I would imagine we still see him in a month from now, right, at the Santa Anita Derby. And who knows what the strategy is there? Maybe just a little bit of a tightener. But he's in it. And congrats to the My Racehorse team in Spendthrift and Juan Hernandez, a guy who started on a smaller circuit, has worked his way up, has really done well, established himself at Santa Anita. Really cool for him. He's got a bona fide Kentucky Derby contender. So congrats
That's
to
awesome.
him. Yeah,
I don't want to sound hyperbolic. I don't, but this horse reminds me of a throwback. That's, I think, part of why I'm like, oh.
I'm not there yet. I'm too old. I'm too old and cynical. Like a lot can happen between now and May, but like
No,
that's
that's
so
for
true.
sure.
It's fun.
That's for sure. But when you just see horses do something so well within themselves, and they're doing it for the love of it,
Yeah, he was very happy to be doing the job.
Yeah, he was feeling himself. Like he had a little bit of a strut going. Like he was feeling pretty, feeling like a winner after that one.
And he just, I got that look at Eagles thing going too. Okay, anyway.
All right, I'm taking him off the screen. Get your last look. Enjoy looking at him. You'll see him again soon. As we transition, I do want to mention, I talked about the Santa Anita Derby. If you want to go to the Santa Anita Derby, we're giving away a prize package, which includes tickets, flight, everything you need. Go to americansbestracing.net/Santa Anita in style, VIP day at the races with money, with hospitality. Again, flight, hotel, everything. Just go to americansbestracing.net/Santa Anita in style. I'm going to now transition to the Fountain of Youth Stakes. There is 5 minutes to post your favorite. I think expected. Your likely pace setter coming off of 2 blowout wins, Emmanuel, the 8 horse at 2-1 currently. Let's start with you, Samantha. How do you assess this race? Do you think it's Emmanuel loose on the lead? Do you think he has to fight for it? How do you see it playing out?
Ooh, this is tough because there is a little bit of inside speed, but the way that this horse travels across the dirt, it's like he just floats over the surface. He's really fun to watch. I'm not surprised at the odds with the scratches we've gotten now at 2-1 right now. Obviously, I thought he would be a bit higher coming into this race, but he looks the part. Watching him now warming up in the post parade, Luis Saez, leading rider at Gulfstream Park. But I have some interest in the number 4 In Due Time as well, coming from the Kelly Breen barn. I love the Not This Times this year. I think that they're really impressive. This is a pretty lazy workhorse, but I think that he's got some versatility, which I appreciate here.
Oh, you're speaking Ren's language, but not this time. I could see her almost jump out of her seat as soon as you said not this time. Let's just real quick, before we move on to some of the others, let's take a look back at what Emmanuel did last time in Ren's backyard, handicapping backyard at Santa Felipe.
That's right.
Emmanuel and Pablo Morales to the quarter pole. The lead's just a length and a half. Glider on the inside. In the Union, Boitano back to 4th between horses. It's 5 or 6 more than back to Cloud Play. They have a final furlong left to go. Emmanuel, Glider coming through down toward the inside to try to challenge. Emmanuel still there by a half. Glider down along the inside. They're 3.5 clear of Indian Union, but a final 16th to go. Emmanuel is in command. Emmanuel impressively striding out nicely to win it by about 4 in the end.
Is the hype legit, Ren?
Well, here's the thing. It's tough. I did go with him as my pick, but I can totally see why anybody would want to poke holes in that and be like, who did he beat? It's absolutely true. I think you definitely have options in here at a much better price, like Howling Time, just one of the 3 Not This Time, so I think is a horse that's been kind of ignored. But that being said, I think the idea was the way in which he's done it. He did that with such ease. You saw it was basically hand ride. They let Glider, kind of looked each other in the eye there. That's not a bad horse. It's a Mark Casse horse. And he just kicked right back on. So yes, I understand those fractions were slow throughout the race, but they're in that final bit. To me, if they wanted to go for a softer spot, they thought he couldn't handle the Fountain of Youth, they would have, run him on the track that they know that he just had a big win over. So here they are picking the Fountain of Youth to go, and throw it down with a nice assembled field. But again, a horse like this has upside, and I think Todd is just incrementally ratcheting that up. So that's why there's the buzz about him. Now, as far as I was saying, Howling Time, it's hard to ignore that horse, right? Because he's coming out of the race that's looking like it's the key race so far, at least for these East Coast or Midwest horses. So I don't know if you want me to go further because I don't want to step on anybody else getting a word in.
We got some time. Go ahead. Give us a little bit more.
Okay. Well, I mean, we already know. And for those who've been living under a rock, I mean, Howling Time, we last saw him in action in the Kentucky Jockey Club. He got the lead before retiring. And that's where, I mean, we saw Smile Happy exit that race to then come back off the bench to run second in the Risen Star. He got a 94 buy for that. I thought that performance was much better than it actually looked for Smile Happy. I know people wanted him to win, but right now we're just looking to get those horses peaked and ready for Derby Day. You had Classic Causeway. He came back and he won the Sam F. Davis. And then we had White Abario. He won the Holy Bull, put up a 97 buyer figure. And even the 7th place runner in the Kentucky Jockey Club, Call Me Midnight, he won the Lecomte. So this race has been so key. You have multiple graded stakes horses coming out of there, right? You've got the Not This Time. You've got the Arch. It's a nice horse, and we know that he's already been a winner at a mile in the 16th and winning the Street Sense. So yeah, I mean, a really nice horse. And the Alba family stable was also connected to Giant Game, who was scratched.
So, banking on the drag. Go ahead. It looks like we do have a mini drag here. Chase, go on with it.
I am also all over Howling Time. Ren mentioned the big thing of being in that key race. I know this might be kind of tinfoil hat, but the fact that he was an early scratch out of the Sam F. Davis, and then they re-enter him back into the Fountain of Youth, and he has been absolutely throwing bullet workouts, the entire time.
I've heard what you're intimating. I mean, I haven't heard it from a confirmed source, but I did hear that the horse was training so well that they opted to go here instead.
And that was just my inference based off of those workout lines. And I think that Howling Time's actually going to get a great trip. It looks like the inside at Gulfstream has been absolutely tiring because I'm seeing horses that started on the inside just completely fall to the back of a race. And if you look at how wide these jockeys are taking it in the turn, that's your just number one clue that there might be a little bit of a bad rail. I think he kind of sits just to the outside of simplification. And if Emmanuel gets up there with him, even better, because he's going to be pushed even further out wide. And I think that's just a horse that's going to be sitting in a great position to strike. And I love the price. Also, I am part of a religion that worships a creature that is one half man, one half horse, one half Dale Romans, known as the Dale Tar. So hail be to Dale Tar. Let's get Howling Time home.
Oh.
The horses are approaching the starting gate. Last chance to wager on the Fountain of Youth Stakes.
Yep. Number 5, Dean Delivers. Big long shot here, 35-1. I'll be kind of quick here. Homebred for Gil Campbell, who recently passed away, my all-time favorite owner and breeder. Kind of a fun fact with this horse, his third dam of Ivan of Inalot, who is also the dam of Galt, who makes it into this race. So a little tribute to a great small Florida breeding program here. But realistically, this horse proved he's a graded stakes horse last time. I think he's been nothing but honest. I think there's enough depth in the pedigree. He can get 2 turns. I don't know if he's a 1.25 mile type, but I think today he can get this distance. So bombs away, 35-1.
35-1. We'll take it. You heard me hinting at it when I mentioned how the Gotham Stakes ended up. I like Dean Delivers a lot. I also like AP Secret.
The horses.
I like that one too.
That's my top choice.
Post time.
I love that horse.
2022 Fasig-Tipton Fountain of Youth
Most
Stakes.
Recent, he really
3-year-olds on the road to the Florida Derby.
The race from the outset,
$400,000 in guaranteed purse money. It is a grade 2.
He's got some
9
really
to 5
good
favorite is number 8
Emmanuel.
Windstar Farm.
Weird.
Todd
If you
Pletcher.
watch the race, he said pretty
Louisa
early.
is the team
he
there.
forced a fast opening half.
In the line goes the local hopeful Simplification, joined in by Mark Hamian and AP Secret.
He still battled on.
Seasonal debut for High Oak. He's stepping forward now.
If you want to add to the AP Secret case, real quick, as they're loading
in the
in,
Albaugh family Blue Silks.
Oh, I think that I love his body style for this race. He's a huge, big gray out of Cupid. I think he's going to be impressive, and I love his work coming.
Captain will be next.
Quick shout out to Easy Time too. That was actually he beat an actually nice field, and a couple runners came out
in town to ride Howling Time,
and he beat them by 5 3/4.
He goes up.
So that's another horse. If you're doing a super, you might want to get that horse
in due time.
I'm going to try to blow this up with the trifecta. I'm going to take Howling Time.
7-1 on him.
I'm going to take Howling Time.
He's
key him over.
Dean Delivers
5-6-8. So 3 with 5-6-8 with
those horses that love
Your
the fight.
Second choice, by the way, right now, Rattle and Roll. We haven't even talked about
Rattle and Roll.
Security last
and
year,
Galt.
off for a while. He's back here. Co-second choice with
Rattle and Roll.
Actually dropped now to 3-1
in his 3-year-old debut. He's walked forward.
Really
Galt
interesting
and
race.
jockey Joao Rosario
Good
to
luck,
the outside.
everyone.
First finish line race. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Fasig-Tipton Fountain of Youth Stakes. Emmanuel was off in traffic and then was shuffled back a touch. Good start at the inside for Mark Hamian, and he's put right on the early lead. Fellow long shot Dean Delivers moves to him in second, and AP Secret is a joint third. In due time gets great position for Paco, third at the rail, followed by Simplification. He was off in traffic again today. High Oak is 3 wide. Howling Time works between horses, and Emmanuel, the favorite, is 4 wide, racing ahead of Rattle and Roll and Galt, and O Captain is at the back. 23-4 for the opening quarter as they race into the backstretch. Marcos Meneses and long shot Mark Hamian on top by a length and a quarter. Dean Delivers his second. High Oak is 4 wide. AP Secret is 3 wide. 5 wide for Emmanuel. Certainly not optimum there. Saving ground inside is in due time. At the rail, Rattle and Roll has good position if good enough. A length better than Howling Time. Out the back are Galt and O Captain. The entire field separated by 7 lengths in the run past the half-mile point. 48-1 for a half-mile speed. On the far outside, Saez is on the go now. Emmanuel has to give up a ton of ground. He's challenging for the lead. Dean Delivers, puts the neck in front. Mark Hamian is next. AP Secret, High Oak. Now Simplification given a run. Simplification's even wider than Emmanuel. Looking for room is in due time as they run to the top of the stretch. Emmanuel now takes a narrow lead. Fighting on. Dean Delivers in due time. Oh, that was High Oak who clipped heels. High Oak clipped heels and unseated Galt with him. as Simplification sweeps up out wide. Simplification is now taking the lead in the Fountain of Youth. Dean delivers his So Game. He's trying to hold on for second down the center in due time. Emmanuel between. Simplification for Antonio Sano win the Fountain of Youth. Second was In Due Time. Up third at a huge price was O Captain. There's a steward's inquiry looking at the run to the top of the stretch. We have 2 riders unseated. Jockey Junior Alvarado is sitting up. And it appears that both horses are up and okay.
Is who I think was responsible for that clipping heels responsible for that clipping heels? It was a very choppy video.
I didn't get a clean look at it. We'll see. I don't know if they're going to show the replay, but I mean, obviously, hopefully, we get a bit of an update here. Junior Alvarado, as you heard, one of the riders who went down on High Oak. So, obviously, at this moment, that's the story, right? Let's just hope for the best for the horses and for the jockeys that went down.
Yeah.
I think looking at the race, I mean, I don't think your winner is involved. I mean, it looked like he kind of circled them wide. Jessica, did you see something that?
Yeah, they were just really bunched up. I mean, they were just really bunched up, and it was so choppy. I was wondering if someone maybe didn't have their turn signal on.
Yeah. By the way, the horse that finished third there, who rallied up on the outside at 90-1, was O Captain for Gustavo Delgado with Javier Castellano riding. And so it sounds like they're reporting now that Joel Rosario is on his feet. So Joel Rosario, who was aboard Galt, 13 horse, he's on his feet, and they said that Junior Alvarado is sitting up. So that's what I'm hearing over the speaker
so
system.
Then it sounds like jockeys and horses are okay.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard. Did you hear an update on the horse? Because I have not heard an update on the horse.
That I've not. No, I thought somebody said the horse was up, but
Okay. Yeah.
It sounded like Pete Aiello said that both horses were up.
Okay. Good. Okay. All right. Well, that was certainly an adventure of a race. A Simplification, who we kind of just mentioned at the very last moment there.
Well, we talked about him earlier today, or earlier today when we started the show, because I talking about Antonio Sano, and it's nice to see him get a big time horse like that. Alessandro, his son, is right out there with him, who is just an amazing person. He's going to be a veterinarian. And so one of the things that I thought was so great about this horse, again, this is one of the progeny of Not This Time. And this one, his grandmother is a full sister, or I think it's a full sister. No, a full sister, yes, to a Shadow. And a Shadow is a horse that a lot of us have in our hearts, a Hall of Famer. So it's nice to see this barn have a horse of this quality. Obviously, we remember the fun run we had with Guinevere a couple of years ago on the Derby Trail. And a beautiful horse here. He actually, and I don't know if this is due to him being in any way tired or from what happened with that incident there on the turn and just being distracted. He was on the wrong lead down the stretch. But a beautiful horse, and congratulations to the team. I'm just so sorry that such a great win for your horse is marred by something like this.
Well, Pete Aiello just did announce over the speaker while you were talking that both riders, both horses, up and fine visibly. That obviously is a relief on a day like today where we come in and we're all feeling good and we've got all these exciting races, as you said. Not something we want to see at all. At least happy to hear that everyone is okay.
Well, now that we can be, I would love if you would get his son on one of these shows one of these days. He's so great, and he has such great enthusiasm. And
let's do it. You got the connect. I know that's your boy.
I do have the connect. Yes, he's so wonderful.
This might be a good chance to remind everyone, like if their bankroll's feeling a little too heavy after cashing some big tickets. This is a real dangerous sport. Donate to the PDJF if you cash a ticket here. Lives can change in an instant with horses.
Absolutely.
You know, as I was on a much slower pace. Hitting the ground that hard really hurts. Can confirm.
Yes. Yes.
And also, if you happen to be winning today, like if, for example, you bet O Captain in your trifecta, or you bet O Captain to show, for example, you know, the horses themselves, right?
Yes,
When
Carbon Aftercare, find a charity,
Yep.
give generously. You know, these athletes, both equine and human, do a lot for our entertainment. It's the least we can do is give back.
All right, well, we still have a bunch of really exciting races coming up from Gulfstream Park today. And, one more from Gulfstream Park. It's the Here Comes the Bride, the finale, the 13th race. But there's also at Santa Anita a number of big races, including the Big Cap. We've got about a few minutes here, and then Pete Fornatal, Matt Bernier, and that team continues the coverage on Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita channels. Before we go, does anyone have a Big Cap play? Any opinion
I'm
in that
boring.
race?
I'm Express Train.
That is boring. That's super boring.
I'm so boring.
I'm on warrant here.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That sounds good. I'm on warrant, too.
I can tell you that Express Train will win because I'm not on him, and that's kind of how me and Express Train operate together. I kind of thought it might be Spielberg in that spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I literally only thought that there were two contenders, and it was Express Train and Spielberg. And at this distance, I kind of like Spielberg to be able to maybe come from just a little bit off the pace, try to keep it a little bit close and get there. Yeah, I think that's a nice little shot to take. And hopefully I break my Express Train curse.
I think you're gonna get a good price on Spielberg, because I think most have given up on Spielberg.
Yeah.
Jessica, any thoughts on that race? If not,
I like Warrant a little bit. I don't think he ran all that bad last time. Considering it was his first start off of a bit of a layoff, you have to think these constitutions get a little bit better if they're allowed to really mature and develop into 4-year-olds. I'm kind of curious what he does this year.
Mm-hmm. Ren, I wanted to ask you about a horse in particular. I don't know if this horse can make the distance, make the class jump, but I'm really intrigued by him in some weird way. Soy Tapatio. We talked about. What do you think?
Well, let me look a little closer here, because he's by not this time. So, I mean, obviously you got the Giants Cowboy line, and can we just, again, shout out to TaylorMade, not this time, and all about family that, bred and still have interest in the horse. You do have the street here on the bottom, but I can look at this real quick if you want. Talk amongst yourselves for just 1 second. I'll tell you if there's anything. I'll tell you if there's any bit of a crumb I can give you to be, because otherwise
we'll do this. We'll do this. Our out time is 5:58 Eastern, so we have 2 minutes while we're waiting for you to do this analysis. Let's go Jessica first, followed by Samantha, followed by Chase. Tell us where people can find you for sort of week-long daily horse racing stuff. Jessica.
I mean, mostly you're just going to see photos of my horse eating Pop-Tarts at JM Paquette. That's all I bring to the table. But they're cute.
Oh, I didn't know you could feed a horse Pop-Tarts.
You can feed him anything.
It's so cute. Most of my horse stuff is on Twitter. That's at Samantha G. Perry. It's horse racing and OKC Thunder basketball for me on my Twitter feed. So that's what you'll get.
Nice.
Also, I mean, weirdly, it's going to be a lot of me eating Pop-Tarts, which is strange. But
Weird.
I am at of Oaklawn on Twitter. You can always find me being abrasive there. And if you're interested in Oaklawn Park, I've been lucky enough to team up with Horse Racing Nation, and I've got my Oaklawn Park tip sheets there every single day.
Ren, 60 seconds.
Okay, real quick. Yes, based on pedigree, a horse could conceivably. I mean, the second dam is by Tappet. Then you've got the third dam being by Wild again, and his family includes Olympia, who won the Hollywood Derby. So you've got some influences in there that are solid. I just don't know if the horse is good enough to win, and that's the question, because any horse can get a distance if you give them enough time. It just depends, right? So as far as where you can find me, at Ren Carothers, I'm still doing the Tampa feed. We got Breeders' Cup stuff coming up later in the year, so all that is very exciting and interesting, and this has been so much fun on the feed with you now that I know that everybody's okay. It's celebrate. And I gotta say again, I'm just really, really thrilled also by seeing such an easy performance from Forbidden Kingdom. My Racehorse crew and all of them just got to be out of their skin excited.
Oh yeah.
Forbidden Kingdom wins the San Felipe. Simplification wins the Fountain of Youth. This has been First Racing Road to the Derby Live. For Chase Sessoms, Ren Carothers, Samantha Perry, and Jessica Paquette, I'm Dan Tordjman. We will see you next time.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America'sBestRacing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.